guys, welcome back to Smol Park. I know, it's crazy. Another episode in the same year. What is happening? Well, like I said, we need to try and finish up this park before Planet Coaster 2 hits. So we're kind of in a time rush here. And that means that we're working a lot in the park and I'm getting stuff done. Also, it was just really fun to get a lot of comments on the last videos, and it just inspires me to keep building. So for today's video, we're trying a few different things. I am doing a time lapse, as you're currently seeing, and I'm also doing a small tour of the park. I'm also doing a progress kind of building where, you know, I'll build a little bit and talk to you guys, build a little bit, talk to you guys. You know, the format that Mask Bandit, Mike Sheets, and Geekism have done. And I just want to test out these different things, see what works. So leave any comments and feedback on what you think works the best. I am not a huge fan of time lapses just because they are kind of annoying to record. And you gotta try and keep the camera somewhat still, which I am impossible at because I keep zooming in, rotating, and I really want things to line up perfectly, like that everything is perfectly aligned. So I keep turning my camera and fighting and all that. So it's not my favorite thing to do time lapses, but I did think it would be kind of fun to see if I could do it. So I actually think there's 2 time lapses in this video, and I'm also showing off this new cool online tool that we've been using, but we'll get to that. First, let's talk about this building. So we are back in the Dutch area, and I just gotta, you know, try and make some facades happen. Funnily, after I built this one, Silverette came out with this video with the Planet Zoo Dutch facades, and you know, I'm totally getting inspired by those as well, but I wish we had the same pieces in Planet Zoo. I was about to say in Planet Coaster as we're doing Planet Zoo, but you know, looking at the Gamescom footage, it looks like we'll get a lot of great pieces from Planet Zoo in Planet Coaster 2. So super excited for that. But anyways, this building is just a facade. It's just, you know, decoration for the area to make it look like this whole little Dutch city. There's nothing fancy about it. As you notice here, I'm actually tilting the building a bit forward to give that, give it a bit more forced perspective, and just to make it look like the building is kind of looming towards you. The whole area is very small already, and the paths are not that wide. And yeah, I just figured it would be very nice for this building to kind of tower over the guests a bit. It's really difficult with this whole area to actually come up with what I want to do with it, because either it's going to be a big massive building behind it, which I think it's going to be, like we'll just roof it up and be like, yeah, all the restaurants, buildings, they're all just connected inside. We also have to consider you know, backstage stuff, as in getting materials for the restaurants, the gift shop, and all of that to be delivered. So I think one of the buildings that I'm gonna do over on the far right will have to be some sort of loading dock, but kind of like a hidden loading dock, if you know what I mean. So it's still gotta be themed as a Dutch theme park or a Dutch, you know, building, but Dutch theme park. It's still gonna be themed like a Dutch style building, but it needs to be a bit more, we need to get the idea that you could at least, you know, use it for getting in all the goods for all these shops and restaurants that are in this cluster of buildings. But anyways, I'm just gonna let you guys watch the rest of this time lapse. There's nothing much to it. I'm not a big nerd on Dutch buildings or even architecture, but I did see in Silverette's video that he added these metal poles on the back of the gables, and I think I'm gonna go in at a later stage and add that to this one as well. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and I'll be back showing you this online tool that I think is really cool. So, as I mentioned, this is Milanote or Milanote. I don't know. Either way, it's basically a virtual pin board, I guess you could say. You're able to add all these kind of cool things, notes, links, to-do lists, which I love, boards, images, whatever. You can even draw, make tables, add comments to other people's, whatever. So I just recently learned about this tool. It's free to use. You get 100 cards, as they're called. And I suggested to Pigeon that we start using this to wrap up the park before the launch of Planet Coaster 2. So I kind of wanted to show you guys this tool because it might be helpful for some of you guys as well to jump in and, well, basically create your own to-do lists and checklists of what you need to do to wrap up your projects. Obviously, you can also use this for other types of projects in real life, schoolwork, any DIY projects you might have. If you're planning something, I find it really cool. So let's jump into the final stretch here. And let me just zoom in a little bit. Oh, that was a lot. So, wait, how do I move? There we go. So, as you can see here, we got it. We got just like a logo, whatever. And then we have two lists here of stuff we need to finish. We need to do the lighting pass all over the whole place. We need to finish a lot with the wooden coaster. The Dutch area needs some stuff finished. The caterpillar coaster, some different things. And then, you know, we want bird sounds and chainsaw sounds for the wooden coasters as well. And it's just really cool the way you can add in images to show if you have an idea or whatever. Then we have final tests over here, which is, oh, we got Planet Coaster in the background. Let's just pause that. Things that we just need to do once we've basically finished everything. We need to go through all of these things, make sure there's, you know, staff, see if there's any complaints from the guests, name all the rides, make sure there's enough trash cans. So we basically need to do a full run through of the park with full amount of guests and see where do they place trash. Do we need to add extra trash cans? Whatever. Then down here, we just got some inspiration pictures of stuff we think is cool that we might want to implement, like cool fences. This is from Freiburg im Breisgau, I think it's called in Germany. I'm not sure. But I saw this recently. I was like, can we maybe squeeze in this building here a bit? We got the colors that we've been using for the staff. And yeah, so we're just able to add, you know, comments and whatever. And I find this tool really cool. It's a good way to go here, see what needs to be done. Okay. And then once it's done, you can check it off. So I'll be leaving a link in the description if you want to join this site. Basically, it's a referral link. All I'm not getting any money. All I'm getting if you sign up through my link is more cards. So as you can see, if we go back, I currently have 37 cards. You get 100 cards for free. So if you sign up, I think I get like 10 or 15 more cards per person who signs up. So if you do that, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, let's hope that this is a good way for us to, like, you know, finish off the whole park, because we only got like 2.5, 3 months to go. So yeah, fingers crossed. Anyways, let's jump back into the park. Yes, and now we are back in the park again. And as you might remember, we ended up removing the Venetian carousel from this area over here, where we also have the butterfly ride, the Schmetterling. But that kind of left the area unthemed. We did put in this other ride here, which I can never remember what it's called. It's not Loop-de-Loop, is it? It might actually be Loop-de-Loop. I think it is. But anyway, so it was just a matter of going back in and retheming it, basically using the same elements that were already there for the Venetian carousel. I absolutely adore the new area where the carousel ended up at. And even though it was a nice sort of weenie in this area, it just fits so much better over, you know, in the Heide Park inspired medieval whatever German village area. So basically here, like I mentioned, I'm just pulling in elements that are already there, and that's a really good way to kind of tie in your smaller areas to make sure everything is kind of cohesive. Like I am using the same lamps, the same flowers, same colors, basically all of it. And as you might remember, this was way back in, I think, episode 1 or 2 of Smol Park, where we designed this area. And basically this was one of the original, like when the park opened way back, you know, lore wise, this would have been one of the first areas. So it's obviously, it's a bit overgrown. It's really, you know, it's settled in. We got lots of rock work, and just old stones. So it wasn't really a lot to just go back in and change this up and make it look like it was here the whole time, which is basically what I've done. After this, we're gonna jump into the park for a little bit. Actually, no, wait, I have another segment I want to share first. I want to do the whole build a little bit and then show you guys some progress, just to test out that format as well, because I think I might actually be a fan of that format. What I did was not the mask banded way. I didn't go and, you know, save it in different save files. I just built for like an hour or however long I wanted to, jumped in, recorded a little bit, and then kept on building. And I think that worked out really well for me. But as you can see, we're just finishing up this whole area here. I'm just adding lots of overgrown plants and flowers. There's really nothing fancy to it. I'm trying to make it look like the bushes are a bit overgrown on these fences, and yeah. At the end of the time lapse, you'll also see me testing the, what is it called? Like, make sure there's no collision with the trees. And I think that's something I've noticed a lot of people actually forget. You plop down a lot of trees and then you just sort of forget that, you know, rides can hit them. And that would be really bad for your theme park. So remember to always check collision. Anyways, I'm just tying up this whole area, like I said, and I will see you in the next segment. Alright guys, as I talked about, I want to try a few different things in this video just to see what actually works best for me. I'd love to do like a new series when Planet Coaster 2 arrives, and I just want to see if it's a time lapse, if it's the show off, if it's the show off through the progress like Mask Bandit does. Yeah, I kind of want to see what works for me. So I want to try and work in this area. As you can see, I've already built a cover here. It needs a bit dressing up, maybe some lights. I'm not sure. Very simple, which is kind of what we wanted. Just a little picnic area for people to eat their lunches or food that they brought into the park. And I started detailing a bit in the back. We obviously need some ground texture. And I mapped out kind of where I want the different planter areas to be. So there's basically like 4 entrances to the area here, and yeah, I just kind of want to dress everything up, make it look pretty, and same with this little area here as well. And as you can see, we're over here by the coaster that Pigeon built and the lock flume, and I kind of want to bring over some of the elements that he's been using in his design to this area as well, just to make it everything, you know, just make it fit perfectly in this little spot. We debated for a long time where we're going to fit in here. We talked about a smaller coaster, we talked about a ride, but I was like, we don't have that many picnic areas, so let's just add that. And yeah, I'm gonna get to work and try and do something, and I will be back once I build a little bit. All right, I'm back guys, and I just noticed a floating trash can. That's no bueno. That's gonna go. I'm guessing we'll just do this. Fine. Anyways, I'm back and I did a bit more. As you can see, we mulched off the area. No, we haven't mulched off the area. We pebbled off the area. As you know, this is a TMTK item, and I recently discovered them through Geekism, who used them a lot, and I figured, you know, they would look quite nice here, and I think they do. It's quite the steep pathway down here, and it's a bit wobbly and not very handicap friendly, but they can use one of the other entrances here, or we do have some other areas for disabled people that, you know, are a bit more safe for them, because I would imagine a wheelchair would probably get stuck in the mulch. I should stop calling it mulch. Would get stuck in the pebbles and it would be awful to drive in. So yeah, but I also finished off this first little plant area here. I started working on the back area, and up here by the Dutch area I just sort of carried over the fence here, because I think it kind of, you know, frames it and gives you this perspective. It draws you in on both sides that you kind of want to go this way. So when you come around the corner here, you kind of get a little view of the whole area, and then you got to cross this huge step up here for some reason. I had to cab it off somehow. This is one of those moments where it's just like, good enough, except I'm not a fan of that. So let's just sink one of these bad boys in. There we go. We'll do the same over here because I kind of hate how it looks. We'll just do that. Looks better. So yeah, just a cute little planter area. Brought over some of the elements from over there, the same kind of colored roses, some of the same flowers. I've noticed Pigeon used a lot of the dead trees around, which, you know, they look good. They give some nice depth in the scene. So yeah, added that. Added one of these wooden TMTK owls, wooden statues that we have. I think we already have it somewhere in the park, but when you go over here, you would have forgotten it, so who cares? It just looks nice. So next up is this planter here, that planter there. Finish it up over there. Yeah, it's turning out nice, I would say. It's just a cute little picnic area. I should stop saying cute all the time. It's so frustrating. But no, just a cozy little area where you can, you know, sit and eat your lunch. You've been through the whole park. The parents can sit here while the kids go on the rides, and yeah. So let's work a bit more on these planter areas. Be right back. So I'm back again, and as you can see, I finished off another 2 of the planter areas. I wanted to bring over this fairy tale fence that Pigeon used over here as well. Again, just to bring in the elements, tie everything together, create this like red thin thread throughout the whole area where it kind of feels like its own secluded area of the park. We don't really do themes in the park except for the Dutch area. Well, actually, come to think of it, we have the Dutch area, we have the kind of this is really, I don't know what you would call that area actually in English. Medieval, I guess. It's kind of medieval up by the plaza. Then we kind of have this area here with the bats and the, well, also I don't know what kind of theme this is. So we don't really have themes, but kind of we do. But anyways, each area kind of has its own vibes, and yeah, it's just important to bring over elements so it ties everything together. I've used the same rocks that he has used over here as well. And yeah, I didn't want it to be too high here because I think when you're sitting in here, you kind of want to have, you know, the views out there on the coaster and the lock flume. So what I do think I want to do is once these buildings, which are placeholders, once these are done, they'll obviously have a backside to them. And I think I kind of want to just, you know, hide everything with forests here. So it kind of, at least when you're sitting in here, it looks like you have a forest backdrop, and your what is it called, like the way you want to look is not drawn towards this area but rather to here, because that's where the action is, or maybe up there if we end up having a nice view of the wooden coaster and the swinging arm. Also, when the chair swing is going, you actually get a really nice view of it from here, but you definitely want, you know, the focus of the guests to be towards this area over here. But yeah, so what we need now is to just basically finish up this right here. I don't want to do too much because I don't know how all of this is going to end up looking at the back. It might be one large building. I don't really know yet. We obviously need a facade here so it looks nice. So I just built this, as you saw, but we need more facades here. And then kind of going down here might just be walls. We might be able to carry over this a bit here. Going downwards, it's going to look weird though, but yeah, that's gonna look weird, but you know, we might pull some elements. We kind of need to blend everything together, and I am getting a lot of notifications. But yeah, let's tackle this area here. Maybe do some lighting. Yeah, let's see. All right, guys. So this is what I came up with, and I think it's done. It's very simple. It's nothing fancy, but that's kind of what I wanted to do as well, because I don't want it to take away the focus from, you know, all the other things that's happening in this whole area. So I finished up this planter area here and just, you know, finished off the back end of it here. Obviously need to do all of this, but like I said, need to wait until all of these facades and the back side of those are done. I changed the colors of the benches. I actually did like the green one, but I actually changed the colors to be the same colors of the supports on the spinning coaster. Just again to, you know, tie the area in a bit more, and I think it looks fantastic. So yeah, I also added the card over here. I was about to say the map of the park. Obviously placeholder image. Once the whole park is done, I'm gonna try and create an overview map of the park in Photoshop and try and Planko it up a bit somehow and add it to all these maps around the park. I still need to do something about this area, but that's literally a 5-minute job to put in some flowers there, whatever. And then this whole area will be done. Did add some light in there. Couldn't really come up with anything else, but I don't know. I think it does the job pretty well. And yeah. So that basically fills up that little area here we had here. Still got lots of backstage area over here to do, but we'll tackle that someday else. Now the cool thing is, and I want to bring you back to Milanote, and we'll be able to tick off a picnic area around the spinning coaster. Boom, that is done. So still lots of areas to work on, but yeah, we have our first tick. Let's go. And I don't know, this lighting pass should probably be over on the final test, but we'll see. I should move that over there. Can I actually do that? Could I move it over here? No, because it's all right. Now we do that, and then we can move this up here, and then can I delete that? Or I think I just go in and press backspace. There we go. Nice. So realistically, I'm just gonna change this lighting pass over the whole park, and then just delete the title because we don't really need that. There we go. I like this. I like how it gives me a complete list of things I can jump right in and work on. So I'm not going to work on this parking lot and the spawning point yet. I want to add a first aid building somewhere in the Dutch area. It would make sense if it was one of these buildings here, or perhaps here actually next to the restaurant, because you'll be coming off the wooden coaster, the spinning arm, and the Monte Leone, which are probably our most thrilling rides in the game, or in the park rather. So did he delete the path again? Oh, he did. I'm just looking now at what a pigeon have done. This path is supposed to be connected. Oh well. But yeah, still lots of stuff to be added. I don't have a lot of inspiration for Dutch facades at the moment. I did build this the other day, and I need to somehow do a facade here or something and then tie this into it. Not sure how. Maybe I can carry over this building a bit. That would be neat actually if I can just carry that over. Maybe I'll try and work on that next. We'll see. But anyways, I did kind of like this whole giving you updates as I go. The verdict is still out on what format I like the best. You guys should definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Not necessarily what you think is the best, but what you think I do better if it's show and tell, which is not planned at all, or like a progress building or a time lapse. Personally, I don't think time lapse, because I look at reference image, then I go walk the dog, then I come back, then I, do a lot of things. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and let's jump back to the tour. And we're back in the park. This is what you saw me just create. And if we spin around and head up to the Dutch area, more stuff has been added. I managed to finish off this facade here. I didn't carry this other building over too much, just a little bit, but I did do something here. I'm actually not a fan of how that looks right now, but I don't think you notice it when you're down in Pete's view, where you're kind of supposed to be drawn towards the big chair swing anyway. So just a little overgrown here to kind of fit how this whole information have been enclosed. Actually looking at this, I kind of hate these on the wall. So let's just get rid of those. I kind of hate this as well. Let's get rid of that, and we'll probably just put some overgrown planter there as well. Maybe something near the bridge. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a poster. A poster could be really cool. Anyways, yeah, just finished up this whole building, but okay, let's quickly look at this. I'm just working on some facades here. Not super inspired. Silverette's video did get me a bit inspired, but yeah, we just started them a bit to map them out and see what we can come up with. But here I've added another building, and it's heavily inspired by a picture that I was about to call him Berlin, the Dutchie posted on Bro Nation from some Dutch, I think he's at the King's offices or something. It's obviously not the same, but you know, it's inspired by it, and I think it's really cute, and it does give up these Dutch vibes, and it's, yeah, it's exactly what this area needed, like a little height without being too tall, you know, because we still, like, if you look at the person over there, the ride conductor, whatever, it's not that huge. And yeah, I think it turned out really nice. I mapped out this other area here. So this is where I was thinking of having an entrance where they could, you know, put in the stuff for the restaurants or whatever. And then if you look at the top, I've just roofed it all up. So it's sort of just becoming this big blob of a building, which I'm not a huge fan of. I do prefer when it's more like roofed off, but it's okay. This is supposed to be like the newer addition to the park, along with this, like this is the latest, then this, you know, it would have started off with this area over here to be the first, and they probably expanded with, you know, this down here. And then they slowly started the expansion over here with the wooden coaster and this whole area. And then they added the Dutch area, and finally this area here. So I do think they're probably, you know, trying to save some money, make it more cost efficient. So that's why they just have a boring roof here, which no one notices anyway when you're down at peep level. Do not mind this ride. Pigeon just wanted to say we could theoretically have another flat ride there, and I'm like, nah, we're just gonna cap it all off with some trees here and call it a day. Obviously not like this. We tried some few different things here. I wanted like a bridge going over the path, but with how, you know, limitations on height and path collision, blah blah blah, it wasn't possible. So instead we moved up the flat ride. And I think it sits really well here. We're gonna theme it so it kind of goes along with this wood chipper theme over here, sawmill, and then you get the transition into the Dutch area around here, and we'll see what we can come up with this one for that area. Other than that, I don't think we've done much else that you haven't seen, which is really weird for me. There's not much to show off because you've already seen it. But here's how that area turned out as well. Looking cute. Honestly, it's simple, it's basic, but it kind of fits with whatever's going on over here. Color wise, should we have a robe over there? Nah, we shouldn't. It's just, yeah, it's just another tick off the checklist of getting stuff done. We gotta do the whole parking lot. I love the dynamic shape of it that Pigeon did. I'm not a fan of the actual roads. But we'll see what we come up with. I kind of want trees along each road here, like each row of, you know, parking spaces. So we'll have trees galore, and we'll have a little entrance area here to the car park with ticket booth. I started these probably 3 years ago. Haven't gotten back to them. But yeah, then we have all of this, and as you saw in the Milanote, we have a lot of stuff to do. So Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please do leave a comment about if you like the different formats. If you think there's something I can do better, just let me know, because for Planet Coaster 2, I definitely want to try and get a series going right off the bat and hopefully have a bit... Ouch, I just punched my headset. I'm sitting here doing like movement with my arms, which is really stupid. But yeah, let me know what you think works, and I would love to get a park going right off the bat in Planet Coaster 2, so any feedback is very much appreciated. Also, to all my new subscribers, because wow, I got a lot of new subscribers from that Gamescom video. Hello to you. I'm Linda, or Rubih as my gaming name. And I love Planet Coaster and have been playing it since 2016. I definitely do most realistic stuff, and it takes me forever to build stuff because I just like to take my time and really put in all the details. But yeah, I hope you stick around, and I'm sorry if I don't do as many frequent, uploads, but it is what it is. I do this as a hobby, and I just enjoy getting feedback and comments from you guys. So anyways, the hype for Planet Coaster 2 is real. I hope you're all as excited as I am. And hopefully I'll be able to push out another video in a month or so. Fingers crossed. But until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.